Hello. Let's see what we can do today. I don't suspect much. I'm not going to be demanding much because I'm still slightly sick. But I'm at least feeling good enough to get a little bit done. And also, I honestly just feel like animating this. So where were we? So we were working on this. That's the hair. We want pod. And we'll have to correct this one. Good to see you, by the way, Bruno. Hope you're well. So shoulders rise a little bit higher. But otherwise, we have everything more or less the same. Let's push this a little up. Not that bad. This will actually that. This. Hey, good to have you, Trippy. Yeah, we'll pretend that works. Yo, Evelyn, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Let's do this one next. Figure this out. I might actually grab this as reference. I really want to figure this out. This would be really useful. So, not as editing target. I don't want it as editing target. I don't understand how this works. Switch opacity, target between all. There is a collect and register file. Nah. Slightly sick, yeah. Bring in the Oh, nice. Just listened to this morning. Yeah, there's that close to me. Yeah, Saber Pulse is awesome. All right, Trippy, appreciate you stopping by. I really want to lock this as my reference image. That's what I'm going for. In the light table. This is cell-specific light table. Edited light table. Edited cell. I lock this. I lock this and then say animation, so can't move it. I don't want to move it. Register selected layer as a Hold on. Let's try something. Let's go to the frame that we're actually editing, which is this frame. Let's say lock this frame. Oh, we can reach this frame. Theory. Go back here. Grab the first frame. And let's say register this frame. Back here. No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. I still don't understand how the light table is supposed to work. Yo, Sandwich, long time no see. Hope you're well. That being said, I really would like to have reference. I have an idea. Hold on. There's something else to try here. It's here. There's reference layer. Yeah, that's what I want. Where did all of a sudden disappear? There we go. Okay. That's what I want. Okay. Now, I should be able to, yeah, draw. And in theory, when I turn this off, it'll go back to normal. That's fair. Yeah, I made the jump a while back. I think I have seen you here before, chatting. But nice to know that I've got them same lurkers out there supporting. That's really nice. Honestly, this neck hole might need to change, but that's alright for now. You know, it's kind of fun. I was a little bit worried that the positioning would be a little bit wrong. But if I were to go back to this and select it and move this back to where it belongs, this is actually about correct in terms of how much upward torso movement I wanted. So that makes me happy. Okay. Truth be told, I really should learn how to use this tool a lot more, because I mentioned a technique called place and trace a while back, and I actually haven't really used that a whole lot, but it's very useful. Essentially, what it is if let's say you have a character doing two movements at once, like rotating their head, like so you have that movement, but then you had another one where their body is moving either across the screen or in some kind of other motion, and it's making it difficult to in between. And it's a very complicated model, so you really want it to in between nicely and everything like that. Well, what you can do is you can what they would do back in the day is they would literally pick up the paper off of the peg bar and shift it into place so that either one or both parts of the either side of the in-between, if need be, of course depending on the timing and the spacing, and they would then place it where they want on the new page, so that it would be a really easy in-between. And then, so that gets you both the movement and a nice, easy in-between to work from. I'd have to share it or show it in order for it to be a little bit clearer, I think. But it definitely is a useful technique to utilize when you get the chance. Now, one thing I actually think I would want to keep that like so. Yeah. Yo, Guilty Gearhead. Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Yeah, we can lower this. And then we have these two, and then we have this one. And this one we can just drop. So we don't need to. And now we can turn off the reference just to make sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm beginning to kind of understand how this works. That's handy. As the context, Part of it, like as far as me doing it, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of character animating in a while, and so I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting too rusty. In terms of like the scene, it's a little scene of the little Grem dude, which from this drawing that I did a while back, or this painting rather. I wanted to animate him, just kind of going through a variety of poses. I wanted to focus on slow transitions into different emotions, things like that. So slow head movement, that sort of thing. For the next sort of practice animation piece, I want to do more full body acting, which I haven't done a ton of. I really want to. Yeah, it's mostly just a test. I don't know exactly what the story is behind it yet. I mean, he's always getting into trouble, so there's a variety of things that could have him looking all ashamed. I'm actually going to turn off. But I am going to take this frame all the way through full production. You guys are going to get to see what a full scene takes. Yo, Gino, good to see you. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this through. It's been a while since I've done a full scene and like this, front to back. So coming up after the rough is done, which there's still a lot to do on the rough. Next will come the cleanup, which shouldn't be too bad for this scene, honestly. It'll take a while, but it won't be bad. And then, hold on, I did this one. This. There. Might actually move the look up a touch. More of that slouched. Have a character like this doing the lo-fi loop animation would be cool. I could make my own loop. I'm doing something. A little bit of part of the story is that the three monsters get to kind of explore the human world a bit. That's a little bit of the story. Yeah. Let's see how the ears interact. That's fine. Yeah. So yeah, there's still a lot to do in terms of in-betweening goes. We have like all these frames, of course, and then we have all these frames, and then we have to go back and we have to finish out these frames as well. And then of course clean up the other frames. And unfortunately, so one of Clip Studio Paint's biggest shortcomings when it comes to the animation tools is, let's say I wanted to copy this, or better yet this, over to this frame because it's nice and easy. That's a series of very irritating things that I have to do in order to do that. So yeah, it's kind of annoying copying over stuff. It's doable, but it's annoying. Yo, Kahuna. Man, we getting all the cool people. Or would it feel like work too much then? If I did this, like, let me put it this way. If I worked on my stuff full time, then yeah, absolutely. I would maybe go down to like teaching one class just to have a little bit of, you know, because I enjoy it or whatever. But 100%. As far as like animating like other stuff, so long as I can do it remotely, then also probably yes, especially if the money was better. And it probably would be if I could really like get in good with certain projects and stuff like that. That being said, freelance, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember how much experience you have of freelance, but you know freelance, then you know it can be rough. You know, it's feast or famine and all that. But I totally like part of my goal is not necessarily to like make random stuff like this full time, but like projects and whatnot. And that'll just come down to me like actually like putting together a business model and throwing it out there and seeing how it goes and just building that up. Hold on. There's a little bit of spacing issue. You see that? So that's the movement there, and then all of a sudden it jumps right there. And I don't like that. So that's okay. This should be closer. I think that's a bit better, but we also need to check. And that's going to randomly switch because I need it in between it. And in order to do that, we were going to need 2 more frames. So that's going to be on thirds. Cool, I gave it in the garden. I got to say, I'm curious how that's going to go. That's pretty ambitious, even for like as much talent as they've got going into it. I do hope they can put together a really powerful working model that'll make something like that happen. Freelance needs timing and word of mouth, definitely. Let's see here though. So this we're going to go from here up. Although we're gonna actually they invented computer animation. I don't recall if they invented it as much, if you want to call it Pixar. I mean, pretty much they're Epic. Like, they're not doing so hot. I don't exactly know what their financial situation is looking like, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're reduced in some manner or another in the next, heck, even few months, honestly. Sometime next year. Catch you later, Gino. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. But, yeah, they're nowhere near what they used to be. I hate that. Hold on. I gotta fix that. So, here. Okay. What was Pixar's last couple of movies? Didn't they? They were the ones behind Lightyear, weren't they? Yeah. I don't think I need to say anything else with that one. They did. I think Elemental was their latest one, which that one got a little bit of traction, but again, it's like, you know. Was Strange Worlds Pixar? Or was that Disney? I can't remember. That one didn't look very good. Then there was, I think Turning Red was also Pixar. That one also didn't do great. Didn't look very good either. Yeah, so they've just been kind of not exactly been doing too hot. I wanted to watch WALL-E 2 for the sake of nostalgia. Are they making a WALL-E 2? Was that announced? Because yeah, WALL-E was good. I don't know what you would really do with the story. I think it told the story really completely, but yeah, well, that it's kind of the big problem is I think everyone's kind of forgetting about Pixar, and yeah, now you kind of see why. Just it's one of those things where like it's the reason why like I don't really have any interest in like working for a quote-unquote reputable studio. The big names, you know. I remember in university, one of my professors, really nice guy, knew his stuff, really knew his stuff. Really enjoyed his class. He had a thing that he called the Road to Pixar, because when he would teach, it's like everyone who came in wanted to work at Pixar. You know, to the point that it was kind of ridiculous. And he's like, everyone thinks it's going to be, you know, this, you know, straight line. It's like, oh, you know, you're going to get in, you're going to go to school, you're going to get in and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's more like this, you know? And my takeaway was, why in the world would I want to only gun for Pixar kind of thing, you know? Especially with my storytelling. I really don't think I tell Pixar stories, especially now. With where they've really kind of put themselves. I find it funny that like you have all these people who are inspired by really prolific directors, animators, things like that, and so their thought process is, oh well, I want to work at the exact same studios as if it's still the 90s, and it's like, well, then you're already off to a bad foot, because that's not what they did. They didn't. You know, they didn't go to what was old hat. They started something new. Or at the very least, they had opportunities that you're not going to find just by like gunning for something that's completely changed in the 20 years since then, you know. Onward looked kind of fun. I liked the idea. I've thought about doing stuff like that, actually. But yeah, it didn't look... Yeah, it just didn't... You know, the problem is now it's like... I guess the novelty has worn off, in a sense. And so it's like they really just aren't doing anything new, and that's really come back to bite them. It's like that. I mean, that was like their thing. It was like when you watched something like Incredibles, for example. Like there wasn't an animated movie quite like that. You know, that was really the strength of their films for a long time. I mean, this stuff was solid. Just knew what it was, knew what it wanted to be, and made it happen. You wanted to work for them in 2000? That's interesting. Were you interested in animation at that time? I guess when you were younger, did you have aspirations of being an animator? It's kind of, I never, like, it's not something I can really relate. Even like there's a lot I can like appreciate about like different studios and different people and everything like that, but like, you know, there was a time where it's like, you know, maybe I could at some point make a pitch to Cartoon Network, right? It's like, because that's kind of like in your mind, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's how it works, right? It's like you make pitches, you know, maybe one day you work towards that opportunity, but it was never like, oh, I'm gonna do that because, you know, that's what, you know, my favorite shows did, or that wasn't it. It was like, well, how do I make this show happen? And I didn't really know any better. Had to attend a Full Sail or similar for 40. Yeah. Was Full Sail actually legit? I remember hearing. I feel like I heard something about that, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. I feel like that was during that time that a bunch of those, like, there's the whole, like, maybe I'm confusing with the whole Everest thing, because that was a total scam. Video games or Pixar, yeah. The common dreams of youth. Back when you think that working on cartoons means basically the equivalent of watching them, and working on video games is the equivalent of just playing them all day. Okay, Kahuna. Yeah, get that taken care of. That's a little scary. Hope you're all right, man. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, wow. Do CD art for a bit too. Cool. Like jewel case covers and stuff like that. You know, Evelyn, I don't think Have I ever seen any like artwork from you? Do you still do? Yeah, apparently there, Evelyn. Do you have like design artwork and stuff like that lying around for a metal? Okay, cool. Oh, I see. Yeah. So you would have been the person taking pictures of like brambles and turning it into metal logos and stuff like that. Goodness. Good for inspiration. I really don't like that. I might actually... That looks really bad. 1 second. I don't mind it here, but I've got to figure out a way to make a better transition. It moves on its own, though. I think I need to rethink this. Dang. Most and stuff like that. Yeah. Gotta have that reference folder. That's fair, Everly. I remember you mentioning you took like painting classes. That's right. Good to have that knowledge though, for the sake of like, even just like, I think it's the reason why I like encourage animators, even if like it's like they are like through and through not gonna do compositing or backgrounds when they get into the industry or something like that, but if they're interested in like directing or making actual animations, films, that sort of thing, it's the reason why I recommend everyone who's interested in that to at least make one film where they have to do everything, like front to back, so that they fully understand the scale of the work that they're asking for people to do. There's other ways to do it. It's not like necessarily, but like it is good to have that like just that knowledge. I find people who clients who understand principles of artwork and stuff like that a lot easier, or some kind of knowledge in art, a lot easier to work with for that reason. They understand like more what they're going for, and it's just easier on everyone. Yo, Trippy, welcome back. We're gonna try this again. I like that idea, actually. I might work that into the story somehow. They're kind of Santa's elves. Actually, that reminds me, I had a really funny idea for a story with a Detective Mothman. The Cryptid Detective series, where basically he has to break the news to his partner in detective work, Anne, who's a black-eyed child. So she's still just a kid, basically. That Santa isn't real. And she's been believing it for like, because they live for a lot longer. So she's like, who knows how old she is, but she's been believing in Santa for like 60 years. But then I thought it would be really funny if like it actually ends up that Santa's real. He's just a cryptid who retired like 200 years ago or something like that. Starting to think a lot of making good music is spending tons of money on top of the line equipment. Yeah, for real. I have a friend, probably should introduce you sometime. Really nice guy. I'm gonna actually link that. Who does audio production and whatnot. And he's always spending money on just like these new things, that he needs and stuff like that. And it's just, man, like, that's so much money. Like, shouts to the dedication, but man, it's kind of funny, like, because I'm an animator, so like the discrepancy between the two is hilarious. Where it's like, he's like, oh yeah, I recently just got this compressor that I really needed for this stuff because I didn't have one. I also got these 2 mics. I have like 15 other mics, but I needed these for this specific thing or whatever. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, the cable on this Cintiq is starting to go bad. I bought it like 3 years ago and I need it to last me the next 5. What can I do to make it last longer? You're bummed when your parents told you he wasn't real. Yeah, just tracking drum. Exactly. Yeah, that's the big thing if you're going acoustic. To be fair, Brunner, like, the issue with the crappy pop stuff isn't the production. Like, the production is actually like over the top. Yeah, it's like it's not great because it's like boring and garbage. But part of the reason it sells is because it's so like ridiculously produced. Yo, okay, I gotta remember. Ramon, I think it was. Either way, good to see you. But I do agree that it's about how you use it, right? Especially for us, I feel like uniqueness is a big trait for us. Can be heavily utilized. It's going up still, so I actually need to push this further this way. I'll always have the 80 grit sandpaper vibe, but yeah. Too fancy mics just for the snare, yeah. And then there's me. Actually, the lights are. Just slapping together whatever I can find. I've been recommended Never-Ending Story, actually. I might good. Check that one out. And some of these tweens are nice and in between. Hilarious ending. Honestly, I can appreciate slow stories. I haven't destroyed my brain on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. I actually might. Oh, that's not good. Where's the... Yeah, that's not good. That'll work. Nice and subtle. And oh, it's Elwood. All right. Okay, that's actually not gonna work. No, of course not. Why I don't use I'm gonna skim. Boy, it's been a while since I heard this one. It's pretty cool. You sort of don't like them. Get LSDJ. LSDJ will give you that authentic. Well, it's Game Boy, but it's a similar sound chip at least. Or you could go with like a Family Tracker or something like that. But I don't know if you're into LSDJ for the hardcore kids. I think you'd be surprised by how like intuitive it is. It's freaking like I have it on my Game Boy, and man, that thing, like, it is so cool how quickly you can like lay down tracks around stuff like that. When I over the last I went up to a place for a family reunion on Memorial Day, for Memorial Day weekend. And just in like downtime and stuff like that, while I'm hanging out, I'd be working on. I did a little song, and man, it's so much fun. It's seriously like just a blast to mess around with that. System, because especially because like it's so different from typical synthesis, like the typical synth paths I've worked with. You know, it has attack, sustain, decay, release and stuff like that, but as far as effects loops and even like the way the oscillator like modulation works and whatnot, it's totally unique. So it was super fun to mess around with. Honestly, I gotta do it more just in my free time. Just sit down and have fun with it. And then of course, it's also compatible with MIDI, which means I can control my whole setup from a Game Boy. We're just we're going through a bunch of random chip tunes. Right now we're listening to someone by the name of Kubi. And they have some pretty cool stuff. I actually haven't listened to them a whole lot, but every now and again they'll come up and yeah, I like it. Up next is Dub Mood, which is always a good time. Yo, what's good, Sophie? Hope you're doing well. Is my music online somewhere? No, I don't. I haven't really produced a whole lot. I do have, I think, a couple tracks on like a Bandcamp somewhere or something like that, but nothing really worth tracking down. I want to do more. I'm a capable musician. I'm not a great composer. I've just never really, kind of like how you were saying, you know, you like music too much, so you don't have time to put into visual arts. It's kind of the same thing for me with music, and I'm kind of okay with that, because like I want music to be something that's like that is just a hobby for the most part. and I have used it in the past for like animations and stuff like that, but for the most part, I just don't do a whole lot of composing. I'll send you that track that I did record that LSDJ track. It's pretty short, so it's mostly just a demo, but it's pretty fun. How you doing though, Soapy? Soapster. Working on the next showman. Number of people here probably looking forward to the next install. That being said, though, Evele, that does remind me. I really want to sit down with my sound guy and release the score for The Blind King as its own kind of standalone thing that you can listen to. Because I was pretty dang proud of the work that we put into that. And so I think that would be good. So that was we collaborated on that, but the main melodies and a lot of the samples I laid down and sent off to him, and he put it together proper. It comes out tomorrow. Let's go. It's crunching on Showman. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what people have been up to. Man, maybe one of these days I'll have to get a bit more involved and get into that stuff. But man, I don't got time to do all these things. There's so many cool things going on. It would be really fun to get more involved in the dojo though somehow. I don't do a lot of fight stuff though. You guys are all over there doing all this wicked choreography. Probably would be good to stretch my legs in that direction though. Not gonna lie, in the back of my mind I've been thinking about if I were to make a character, what would it be? One of these days it'd be really fun. Honestly, I would love to just do like some art for Showman or something like that even. I know you probably pull more from the community, like the internal community, which makes sense, but if you ever need anything, that'd be super fun. Of course, you're probably looking for stuff that works in Flash, so that makes it a little hard. Alright. It's actually kind of fun. I popped into a voice chat with a number of people the other day. It was super fun. So I want to see if I can start popping it a little bit more often. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, now we need to probably at this lowest here. We want to think about that frame. That's fair, Brunner. Yeah, I popped into that VC as well. That was pretty fun. We got to talk about like random Lord of the Rings trivia and stuff like that. Maybe one of these days I'll go back and actually read those books proper. I've never really sat down and read through them. Read The Hobbit. I want to go back and read The Hobbit, that's for sure. It's been well over 10 years. I read The Hobbit for the first time when I was like 10 years old. That was a great age to read that book, for sure. All right, Evelaith, I appreciate you sticking around as much as you did tonight. I know it's late over where you are. Good luck with all the stuff. I'll send that, or try to remember to send you that track so you can listen to what I get up to. But yeah, have a good one. Yo, I'm digging this. This is cool. And how dare. Man, my voice is destroyed. All the coughing and yelling at my students. Nah, not yelling. I don't yell at my students. I just firmly tell them to behave. Fix that for now. Gonna drop the shoulders real quick. Not gonna lie, this neck is maybe a little awkward. I might need to rethink how I do the neck. Okay, so this would be the inside, I think. Good grief, this music is crazy. Apparently this is from Toho or something, I don't know. Never played Toho, huh? Same. Okay, we have 3 frames for the shoulders to drop down there, and then let's do this frame next. So really close. Actually, might do this frame next. It's a little further out. Coda. Yes. How many attempts it took? Yeah, wow. It's been so long since I never did beat Hollow Knight. I was into it for a while. But I never did beat it, and because part of the reason is because like I got to the final boss and everything like that, but I never really made an honest attempt because I wanted to do like everything first. I wanted to do like all the DLC first, and then I was going to beat the game, and then I was going to call it done. I fell out of it. It was just starting the Grim Troop. But then like right after I started I never went back, and now it's like, okay, I'm in the late game doing one of the hardest DLCs aside from Challenge of the Gods or whatever it's called. And I like am gonna be stupid rusty, so it's like, well, that's that, I guess. So I haven't gone back and beaten it. Godseeker, yeah, that's it. Which I did do a little bit of Godseeker. I was like, okay, this is for like uber try hard, like crazy people. Like I this one I'm okay with not being. How much? But I did really want to beat Grim Troop. I can't remember if I beat the Coliseum all the way through, the Trial of the Fool. Can't remember. I think I might have. It is uber tryhard, yeah, for sure. It's so funny though, like a friend of mine recently messaged me. He's like, yo, I get it, I finally get it. Hollow Knight is really freaking good. I'm like, yeah, I've never played it. He's like, not yet. He had just picked it up for the first time. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a seriously good game. Have a good time. Honestly, it honestly kind of ruined pretty much every other Metroidvania that I played afterwards, because like honestly, it's not even fair to pin it on Hollow Knight entirely, because the big thing that really kind of turned me off of a lot of other Metroidvanias is a lot of them seem to go, hey, you remember that one Castlevania game? Like constantly, to the point of being kind of boring. But you can't be Trial of the Fool. Yeah, I did the Trial of the whatever the first one is, and Trial of the Warrior. I think that's the second one. So I did beat those. But as far as the Trial of the Fool, I don't think I beat Trial of the Fool. Yo, Miko, what am I animating? I'm animating a little gremlin dude who's like kind of ashamed of his actions, probably. So so right now I'm going through, doing the body, still on rough. But I really like how this is coming out. And for further context, see above right here. So this is a piece I painted a while back. It's a little small, but I like how it came out, and I wanted to animate the character a little bit more. Hope you're having a lovely day, by the way. Or night. It's quite dark where I am right now. Excuse me. And the nice thing is, the reason I'm being really vague on the lower body as much as I am is because I'm actually going to, when I clean it up, it's going to be probably about here, maybe a little further out. So a lot of the lower body is going to be not present. It's kind of funny. One thing I'm trying to do with this one is not make perfect in-betweens. What I mean by that is, you know, if you pause on it, you're going to get these funny looking frames. But that's okay, because in motion, it looks all right. So long as it functions, it works. Is it hard to animate emotion and faces? Not, I wouldn't, well, it depends on the emotion. If a character's like crying or bawling, that's a pretty tough emotion to animate because there's so much happening. Because it's so like, there's so much going on in terms of movement and everything like that. So like sobbing, crying, falling, that stuff like that's gonna be really tough. It's actually stuff I want to animate though, because like it's so good to practice. But things like a character being happy or little things like, you know, kind of being coy, or even stuff like this where it's like going between like kind of, you know, mad or what have you, to like unsure to like, you know, kind of shameful, stuff like that. It's not too bad. Those are all pretty simple transitions. What's my favorite animated movie this year? I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't really been keeping up with animated movies. There's nothing that's really been standing out to me personally. I'm kind of weird when it comes to my interest in animation and art and stuff like that. I don't really like follow a whole lot. It just, there's, like I said, there's not a lot that really stands out and inspires me, especially from like the big American studios and whatnot. I'm trying to think, like, what was Puss in Boots 3. Was Puss in Boots last year? Or was it this year? If it was this year, then definitely that film. I did kind of forget about that one. I think it was this year, wasn't it? Yeah, it had to be. Absolutely have to. So yeah, that would be this one. When you get a computer, you want to try animating? Heck yeah. I think everyone should try it. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to be good at it or like come out like wanting to be an animator or anything like that. It's good fun. It's just good fun. Just to make stupid things with friends. Okay, I'm gonna pretend this neck is good. If I thin it down. But yeah, I like. It's kind of funny. I haven't. Series in particular have been kind of lacking in terms of interest for me. Like there aren't really any series. Even like anime, like or anything like that. Like there's just nothing really coming out right now. I can think, at least in this, at this moment, maybe. I'm trying to even think like really independent, like YouTube stuff. Like, I guess Big Top Burger. I'm looking forward to the next episode of Big Top Burger. Ooh, Adam's Park. Yeah, so we finished that website. I'll be sure to share it around for peeps. Check out, because it's always really cool what you and the people in that place get up to, man. It's so awesome. That's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Sopple's next amazing animation, whenever that is. You should go subscribe. Totally go subscribe to the really cool Space Cat. But yeah. Honestly, that's like a lot of the stuff that I'm really like looking for now. Have I made any animated short films? I have. I've made 3. The first one I did, I was in high school. Let me real quick just check this motion. Yeah, that. Hold on. Check this real fast. You can find 2 of them on my channel, actually. Excuse me. I have Kahuna, actually. That looks pretty promising. That could be pretty cool, actually. We'll see how that goes for them. But yeah, Miko. The first one I did in high school for actually a film festival through my school, and ended up winning grand prize. So I was pretty dang happy with it. Definitely rough now, but it was good fun, and I'm still, I look back on it fondly. That one, if you want to go find that one, it's called In the Court of the South Moon. It's definitely older. But my latest film is called The Blind King. And it's actually, I'm taking it and I'm turning the story into a comic that I'm working on. There should be a link down below if you want to read that on my website. And then the film in between was a 45-second little short, kind of experimental film that I did called Bump, about monsters in the dark. So that was pretty fun. There we go. We got that nice. So you'll notice I very rarely if I have two, let's pretend like we have object A and object B, or rather it's the same object but different frames, right? You'll notice I rarely in between like this, right? Where it's right, this straight line. Usually you want to do something like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. You know, you want those nice curves in there. So you'll notice, instead of him just going straight up, he is leaning a little bit forward first. So it makes more of a curve like that. That's called arcs. Looks really cool. I hope they do it justice. Yeah, I actually just got done reading through First and Second Samuel. And man, some of the stuff that happened around that time, man, it's crazy. So it would be really cool to see that brought into film form. I got it. How do I move the background effectively? Like this? Or are you talking in general, like when you're animating and you're doing the background like movements and stuff like that? Background and animation. So let's see. Usually, so that's a very broad topic, but there is some really cool stuff I can share about it. So typically, you have in the digital age, it's nice and easy because you can basically just kind of tween your background around, or even better, actually, you can actually create a virtual camera to act as kind of like a regular camera, but it's still kind of that flat display, so it works as a flat background and stuff like that. And you just kind of program it essentially to tween over a certain series of frames, go here, here, and here, you know, that sort of thing. Back in the day, it was done via let's see, like literally moving it on the camera. So basically, it was kind of the purpose behind X sheets. So I've shown this before. Dope sheets, you know, have all these columns, have all these rows and things like that, and it's what animators would plan their animation out on. And the big point of them was to basically be like, okay, on this frame of the film roll for the camera operator, because they got handed off to the camera operator, who would be the one to take the frame, basically put everything together and take the picture. They would actually explain, okay, on this frame, here's everything that's going on, and that would include like camera movement, basically. So that's how they kind of used to do it back in the days. They would kind of pre-plan it. Nowadays, we tell the computer to do that, essentially. However, okay, that's all fine and dandy for 2D, right? As far as like, oh, you have a 2D paint, you're panning side to side, right? You can do that really easily, right? Well, what if you essentially want to create a camera tilt? Like, so rather than, like, say you have your camera, right? What we're talking about right now is just it moving up, it moving down, or it moving left and right, you know, whatever you want, forward, back, just by zooming in or whatnot, you know, you can do all that just fine. But what if you want to do this? What if you want that camera to be able to tilt at an angle? Because when you do that, that completely changes perspective, right? So, okay, well, how do you do that? And the secret is that you don't do it in the camera, you do it in the actual drawing itself. So if you ever look up, let's say you have a shot where you want to start, you have this big building, right? And you're looking down at it. And in the next shot, you know, and this is the street down below and everything like that. And so that's the opening shot. And then in the next shot, you have the top of the building, and you know, you have your hero or whoever standing at the top, and he's being all cool and everything like that, right? So how do you do that? Well, the secret is you draw it, you literally draw it into the frame or into the background. So the building would actually look something like this, as if it's like a really distorted lens, basically. So down below you have the street and everything like that. You know, the sidewalk and all the people down below and everything like that. And then at the top you have our hero. And basically when you do this and you nail the perspective right, and you have all the windows and everything like that, when you do that, as you pan the camera up, essentially, so as a marker for, this is how they would mark it in storyboards. You'd have two boxes, and then you draw arrows to show that it's panning. It would look like it's actually tilting up rather than rising up. So moving action shots, a lot of that uses 3D, I believe, actually, with 2D over that. That's become a really popular thing to do the backgrounds in 3D and whatnot, and it's definitely useful. So that's definitely become a lot more of a trend, especially for those more like action-oriented shots. It just makes it so much easier, and truth be told, doable for that, because otherwise you're doing what's called background animation, and background animation is some of the most time-consuming, challenging animation, because you're having to literally rebuild space over and over and over and over again correctly all the time. Like, everything's moving perfectly. Wasn't that an invention for the movie Tarzan? Funny enough, it's older than that. Depending on how you skew it, physical backgrounds or 3D space backgrounds have been combined with 2D animation for a long time. The first thing that comes to mind, I'm pretty sure it was done for the old Fleischer Popeye cartoons, actually, where they had a physical background, basically like a model background that they filmed and then they animated over. You can see that a few times in some of the older cartoons. Of course, that's not digitally generated. So as far as digital generation goes, I know one of the really early examples was, it was actually used for the ball scene in Beauty and the Beast. Before that, as sort of a test, there was test footage done. You can actually go out and look this up. It's pretty cool to see. For a Where the Wild Things Are animated film that I think, was it Lasseter wanted to do? And so he put together a bit of test footage where the background was done. I can't remember if it was Lasseter or not. It might not have been. For some reason that name is familiar for that, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it could have been someone else. But that's, as far as I'm aware, as far as in the American industry goes, that Where the Wild Things Are clip is the earliest example of that. That was 88, I want to say. Again, I could be wrong on the year as well. But still very cool. And I think I'm pretty sure it was used for Tarzan. looking at those backgrounds. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, when you start getting into things, and this is kind of a universal thing. Let's take, like, okay, I have to be careful on YouTube, but let's take, like, firearms, for example. Or gunpowder. You know, we think of firearms as being this very, you know, modern thing, like 1800s, 1700s, super early, right? But they go back as far as I believe, like 15th century, in early record, right? It's like they go back crazy far, and it even reminds me of like a video I watched where it's like, okay, how many? I don't think it might have been like a TED Talk. I'm not 100% sure. No, actually, I take that back. It couldn't have been, because it was much longer. But basically, it was the guy was like, okay, let's take a look at the actual history of kind of our modern computer-centric world. Like, where does that all actually come from? Because it's easy to think of the internet as being this thing that kind of just sprung up from nowhere, right? But he starts tracing it back, and pretty soon he's getting back to World War II, where kind of the foundations of modern technology really began in terms of, like, because where it really started from was electronic warfare, basically. How can we use, especially radio? Radio transformed the world. Radio is so incredible to study. Its history, because just it changed everything. Welcome back, Miko. And so that just kind of established this new frontier of electronic science and computer science and everything like that, as far back as then. And so that began to really lay the foundation for what would become, you know, how we interact, like, essentially integrate technological fields back into society. Really crazy stuff, man. Just crazy to think. Okay, keep in mind I'm working on what's called a third, where I have to in between 2 frames between here and here. So that's not too bad for the... Do I remember Skylanders? I think I was a little too old for Skylanders when that came around. I remember seeing them. You're not crazy? Yeah, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, it's so cool, like, especially when you start doing like looking into like how film creators and stuff like that did what they did back then, you know, with mattes and matte paintings and models and things like that. It's funny how much of that is actually really still around. We've just changed the tool, not necessarily the approach. So it all kind of builds on itself. I think that's why it's so valuable to learn to appreciate, as if you're gonna do film developing and stuff, or film directing and whatnot, just appreciating where that all comes from. I've learned how to think as an animator a lot more by looking back and seeing, okay, how did they do it? And it's very, like, straightforward, right? The computer kind of muddies the water in a sense. It makes it intimidating. Are you heading out? All right, Miko, have a good one. You know, going back and being like, it's like, oh yeah, we just film it in a way that allows us to extract it, so to speak, get all that we want, and then we just put the pieces together like it's a big puzzle. It's like, oh, Oh, that makes sense, you know. And it seems kind of obvious, but it just you know, it has to click. It's one of those things that has to click. So really cool. Oh, puzzle pieces? Cool. What's that one about? Oh, oh, I see. Yo, what's up, Isaac? Heard your script. Found its spot. Really proud of you. Would have been, but still, man. Oh, come on. Really? Come on, internet. You gotta be kidding me. You stupid thing. 1 second, I got it. Stop! Oh my word. This is so irritating. Back here. But yeah, before I was rudely interrupted there, really awesome to see how far that script got you. So I hope it serves you well going forward. Glad to hear you're back on the grind as well, it sounds like. Man, I keep telling myself this, so I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but I gotta get back on writing myself. I really miss writing. It keeps going, yeah. Okay, that's looking... Yeah, there we go. Yeah. What did we land on? Oh, Monster Cat. Oh, crap, I don't have a... Doggone it. That little bit of... That 1 minute's probably gonna slam me against the wall. Okay, we're kind of getting lost in the sauce over here. The sludge of YouTube recommendation. Let's see what I can find. Also, I'm at 99 subscribers now. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this stream. I really appreciate it. Means a lot. Honestly, I feel like more chiptune. Yeah, I was thinking that guilty. Might hit up the chiptune radio. But yeah, I might hit 100 subscribers here, and if that's the case, I gotta do something in celebration. I really want to like release more videos and stuff like that in general. And we're actually going to, I think, oh. Maybe I'll release this clip as a finished animation. Polish it up, do a nice background. I do want to do all that, so it's fitting. What time is it? 7:51. We'll probably be wrapping up here soonish. Next week, I'm gonna really try to start getting the thumbnails done, or it started anyway, for the next 10 pages of The Lion King. I have the script ready to go. I'm probably gonna, honestly, what I would really like to do is maybe start increasing the time I stream to be a little bit longer. Either go a little bit later or start a little bit earlier, or maybe both. So that I can work on this and the thumbnails at the same time. I want to try to get the thumbnails done within the week if I can. And then I can start. That might be a tall order for this one, actually. I might need to take a little extra time on it. But I really want to get to the line work, because essentially I want to try to have the line work done by the end of November. That's going to be kind of my goal. See how it goes. I suspect that's going to be a bit of a tall order, because I'm gonna have to put a lot of work into some of those pages. Let's see. But yeah, so the next chapter, oh boy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about the next chapter, because I feel like it's gonna be like a kind of make or break kind of chapter. Like either the story's gonna land this chapter, or people are just gonna be confused and be like, okay, what's like what? But we'll see. It's just such a bizarre story, the way it's done. Heading out, Trippy. Appreciate it. We'll be wrapping up soon, so you're not gonna miss a whole lot. I'm thinking. Hold on, let me see here. Maybe these last 2 frames. have a whole other long strip to animate. We'll be fine. Then we'll have just some kind of cleanup to do, actually, for the most part. Okay, so the challenge of this is going to be having it drop. Actually, I did screw up that neck. Dang it. That kind of sucks. I'm glad I didn't do the neck for the rest of that. But I probably am going to have to go back in and shift this back up. That would make sense. And yeah, I definitely am. And that means that, like, it'll have to start shifting there. I'll have to redo the neck. Oh well. Let's do this next frame. So instead, I'm going to put where I think the neck should. About there. Hey, what's up, Imagine? This ain't no Twitch stream. Being all goofy like that. Alright. Says me. Indeed. You know what I might do for 100 subscribers? I think I'll animate a little thing with my Puppet of Nemo. Kind of, doing something. I think that'd be fun. Something simple. Something that shouldn't take too long. Maybe we'll have a 100 subscribers special. Because I am really happy about that. I'm very glad that this is actually going somewhere. At least it seems. Streams have been picking up. It's been fun. Definitely means a lot. Okay, so shoulders drop. And remember, we're on a third, so we want to think that way. How many subscribers? Well, as far as the equivalent would be followers, and that will I got up to, I think, around like 400. I think I was on my way to 500. I think I got to like 450, 460 or something like that. But it didn't mean anything because no one watched. So far we're off to a better start. But yeah, it was pretty disheartening to have to walk away from that, because it's like, you know, I worked for like 5 years or something like that on streaming on Twitch, and it just kept slowly dying, just with more and more terrible decisions from Twitch. It just like kept on being pushed further and further down the line as far as like reachability goes. So that was frustrating, but it's not, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, YouTube isn't all that much better in terms of discoverability, but like at least in theory, it's like, oh, hey, someone subscribes because they want to be like told, oh, hey, you know, this person's streaming. It just felt like Twitch it felt like, I don't know, maybe I just needed a clean slate. That's what it really felt like. I had affiliate on Twitch and everything, but it didn't matter. Honestly, it kind of sucked because it took like half my money anyway. So I was just like, it's not worth it. I managed to land affiliate just before it stopped meaning something. this is really good. Yeah, this is okay. Of course, Fear of Dark. Thank you. I like how this is coming out. I like. I don't know. I wanted to do something where it's like proper full animated movement, like you see everything properly. At least in a simple way with like the hood and stuff like that, the forms of the hood and everything like that. I really wanted to stretch myself there. Next, I want to do like character, like full body like character stuff. Which takes considerably longer, but it's fun. Especially with these characters. These characters are fun to draw. There we go. Times to 802. I think I'll wrap up with this last frame here. Found the man in the moon. Who, me? It you. It me. It you be. Okay. Let's watch it here. Yeah. I like it. Honestly, I think I've really kind of upped my game with this one. I feel like I'm a stronger animator now, which is exactly what I was going for. So that makes me really happy. There's still little things that go wrong here and there, but I like the action of the shoulders, especially on that last part I just did. Yeah, no, I like how that's coming out. Nice. Sweet. That's awesome. All right. Little things I need to change, like with the neck and whatnot. Make sure that it's not twitching around everywhere. The volumes of the neck kind of grow and shrink a little more than I would like. It's kind of heavy. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with how that movement's coming out. That's got, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. This was a really good stream, actually. Thank you to everyone who followed as well, subscribed. I really do appreciate that. That does mean a lot. Yeah. Nah, yeah. Actually, we're short one subscriber from 100. Maybe we'll get it next time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming along to watch. I'll be back next week with more work. We're gonna be doing more of this. We're gonna be doing more Blind King stuff. Hopefully I'm feeling even better than I am. I should be. So looking forward to that. Let's see, anything else? Again, I'm gonna see about it. Like, I want to put more hours into my work, and there's no real reason to not stream it. At least a little bit long, maybe an extra hour or something like that. But yeah, so look forward to more streams and subscribe if you haven't, if you want to catch more things. Always really do appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot more coming down the pipe, slowly but surely. And yeah, looking forward to sharing it all with you. Have a good one. See ya.